What a game. What a performance. I am going to be honest here. I did not believe when we were 2-0 down. I did not believe. And most people did not believe. But you know who did? God did. Bro, what does the Bible say? Where there is no way, he makes a way. We found a way. We found another gear. Oh my goodness. What a performance. This is going to go down as one of the performances of PSG in the Champions League. Up there when we smacked Bayern Munich 3-0. Up there when we smacked Barcelona 4-0. When we beat up Man City a couple of years ago. This is an iconic performance that needs to be studied, needs to stay in the memoirs of all PSG fans. What a flipping performance. Oh my. And the thing is, though, with this game, you can't even go and say that, PSG were fortunate. PSG dominated the game from basically the entirety. That the only exception was that maybe 10-minute spurt coming back from halftime. And even then, right after City scored that second goal, it was all PSG. The entire first half, all PSG. After those first 9 minutes of that, the return from the second half, all PSG afterwards. Just a complete performance overall from PSG. I don't think really anybody here, if I look at the lineups, I don't think anybody had a particularly bad game. I thought even Donnarumma, even the Spanish guy was decent today. But apart from that, absolutely magnificent performance. The one thing I will say, I think Lee, if there is one person I would go and say was a bit under it today, I'd probably say it was Kang. But other than that, I think everybody was just absolutely unreal today. And honestly, I'm going to be honest once again, when I saw this lineup, I saw the Spanish guy and I saw Lee, I thought we were cooked. I said, just put the fries in the bag, bro. Just enjoy being knocked out of the Champions League. And especially, I knew that Dembele was coming, I think he was sick. And so I thought that was probably the only reason why he wasn't playing. But I mean, he came on afterwards. So it was a tactical choice. And bro, all I can say is Lucho we trust. Because Lucho was proved right again today. That was an absolute masterclass because I mean, maybe if he started, maybe we would have done even more damage. But I thought that when he came on, he actually didn't do all that much. There was that one chance he had where he megged Bernardo Silva and smashed it off the crossbar. But apart from that, I don't think he got into he had spurts and whatnot. But today, I just think that 𝙎𝙬 today, what a performance. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬. What a performance. The next Neymar. Remember the name. Bradley Barcola. Bradley Coca-Cola. Bradley qui es-tu? Bradley, tu es qui tu penses être. What a performance. That assist. That, sometimes they go in and say, sometimes the assist is better than the goal. This, Bradley Barcola's assist on the Dembele first goal was honestly better than the goal itself. Brilliant. Completely, absolutely topsy-turn Matheus Nunes. Ran it, showed brilliant pace to get away from the defender afterwards. Had the presence of mind to then go cut it back to Dembele with the easiest tapping of his career. Even for somebody like Dembele with his horrendous finishing, still able to do it. But what a performance by him. Honestly, I probably would have said that this guy was the man of the match, but it was given to João Neves, or as I like to call him now, João Neves. Bro, I would like to take the time to personally thank Benfica Football Club. Oh my goodness. What a player. The thing is, I think we got him for like 60 mil or something. This has to be one of the best transfers in the last 5 years for PSG. What a flipping transfer. João Neves. What a player. At 20 years old, at the tender age of 20 years old, doing the stuff that he's doing. What a performance he showed. And especially for him, missing that initial header in that first half, coming back afterwards, burying it to go up 3-2. Honestly, class performance from him. But again, once again today, even Vitinha was absolutely class today. Ruiz, the Spanish guy, today, you have the courtesy, I'll call you by your name. Ruiz, I think, had a pretty good game today. Showed some good class. Hakimi was excellent as usual. And even the thing is, so today I thought Hakimi had a pretty, average game by his standings. And typically that's enough to put him as like one of the best players. But today, he's probably like third, fourth in the pecking order just because how good the rest of the team was. So brilliant performance from him. I thought the two center backs today, bar the 2 goals that we conceded, I think overall though, I think they did well. Haaland was pretty quiet, bar that one little spell, that the goal that he scored, nothing else doing. And even then, it was a deflection, was a bit unfortunate. But apart from that, brilliant performance. And the biggest thing I'll say today was the character. Because typically in a game like this, PSG go 2-0 down with conceding 2 goals 3 minutes apart. Typically, you're like, it's over. It's done. You guys can go back, watch the stream. I was like, yeah, it's done. I lost faith. I said, and the thing is though too, when we initially conceded that first goal and even the second goal, I said we were the better team up to that point. And it was so annoying, the fact that it just collapsed like that. But no, this is the new look PSG, and bro, it ain't over till it's over. Dembele 56th minute, Barcola 60th minute, and then eventually João Neves in the 70th minute, and then finally to round it up, Ramos scores the final the goal to really put us clear with his 93rd minute effort. But wow, honestly, what a performance! What tactical genius here from Luis Enrique, who completely absolutely schooled Pep Guardiola. And I mean, we're gonna mostly focus on PSG here today, but I guess we have to talk about City here. But like at this point, you look on paper, you say that this City team is arguably, if not better than PSG. I mean, if you just take on paper, based on their careers thus far and whatnot, the players that easily right now get into City's team, maybe Barcola on the left here, you arguably maybe Vitinha goes in for Kovacic. That's it. Realistically speaking, you can maybe say that Marquinhos goes in for Akanji, and then Hakimi obviously for Nunez. But then overall, other than that, like City, you would probably argue have the better individuals collectively and whatnot. But yet today, like it's not even one of those victories where because PSG have had victories. I remember Bayern when we played them away from them, when we beat them. We did win, but it was like a laborious victory. Like, or you could argue almost the fact that we probably shouldn't have won that game. This game, no way, no chance. Not to mention the fact that we scored in that first half, which was disallowed by Nuno Mendes' like kneecap being offside. Today was a complete dominant performance from start to finish. From the beginning of that first whistle to the end, complete dominance from PSG. Despite having, you think especially scoring that goal at the end of the first half, having it disallowed, not allowing it to affect your mood, going down 2-0 afterwards. From that to then go and to win the game 4-2, honestly, shows so much character. And I truly believe now that the demons from the past of PSG going and being in positions where they collapsed, I think those demons now have been fully exercised, because we had it at Barca in the quarterfinals last year where we went down. We had it now again in this game where against the biggest teams in moments of adversity where our backs are against the wall, where you lose, you're out. We showed character, we showed some cojones, and here we are. But overall, wow, what a performance. Statistically, you look at the stats, 2.75 XG, 26 shots, 9 shots on target, 8 big chances. We had 63% possession. There were times in that game where City could just not, like, today everything for PSG went well. Keeping the ball, a team, and that's honestly the thing that honestly surprises me the most about this game, is the fact that typically when you think of a City team, you think of a Pep team, a team that dominates possession, has most of the ball most of the game. This time around, City could not string more than like 5 passes. PSG's press today was simply immaculate, and vice versa on the flip side, the fact that PSG, when they did have the ball, were able to extremely get out of the City press extremely with ease. And Pep Guardiola mentioned it, that with City, the way that PSG lined up with this extremely fluid front three, where here it's set up as Dewey being in the middle, but oftentimes it was Kang in there. Sometimes Dewey went to the left, Barcola went to the right. It was extremely fluid, and basically the 9, so to speak, was most of a false 9, or almost really as like a 10, playing as an extra midfielder, mentioning that overload in that midfield meant that basically their press was completely and utterly useless, and that he'd like be taking notes from that. So to be getting praise from that, from arguably one of, if not the greatest managers of our generation, shows that today it was just an absolute masterclass from Lucho, and Pep got beat, plain and simple. And the good thing I also like about this victory too, bar the morale boost and how important it is for us coming into the standings and the table in the Champions League, is that obviously City were not doing so well prior to the Christmas break and whatnot. But City went, smacked Ipswich, or coming back into form. So you're playing still one of the best teams in the world on paper, realistically, and you did it with confidence. You smacked them, a deserved win for a very, very young team. If we look at the average age of the team, City's average age is 27.5, whereas PSG's is 24.4. Someone like Vitinha is the average age. Someone like Marquinhos is our oldest player on the pitch, was Marquinhos at 30 years old. So an extremely, extremely young team, and we're only going to get better. And the fact that you've got people like Kvara coming in, the things that we can do over the transfer window, I'm extremely, extremely positive on where we're going to go from here. And where that puts us now in the table then is that with this victory, it means that basically we almost sort of do a flip-flop with City. Now City are one position outside of the the top 24, and PSG are in it with 10 points, which means that a victory against Stuttgart definitely qualifies us through. And even if a draw also most likely gets us through, it should be enough. City now, they play against Club Brugge, who are on 11 points, so a point ahead of us. For City, it's a must-win. A draw wouldn't be enough. And even in the event that they go on to win their game, if PSG draw their game, PSG probably still are okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the way to just go on and talk about this Champions League campaign. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Even though as my neutral, PSG is not doing great, it's still not good enough to be 3-1-3. But the fact that this Champions League campaign is honestly the best thing I think that could have ever happened in the Champions League. It's entertaining. This final match day now, I mean, you look at the difference between Bayern and Leverkusen, are on 13 points as things currently stand, and PSG or even Stuttgart, there's 3 points separate. A single victory, assuming, let's say, these teams lose and whatnot, or obviously the way that things are, some of these teams are going to be playing each other, but like a team like even a Borussia Dortmund could still find themselves in the top 8 on the final match day. It's just crazy how competitive it is and how the dynamics of everything changes things. Whereas by now, realistically, on match day 5, the league was done in the previous form of the Champions. So I really like this new revamping of it. I think it brings something new to the Champions League format. And I guess looking ahead now to PSG, the biggest thing is now you cannot, on the back of this victory, then go and lose. You have to go and do the business in Stuttgart. The thing is, though, I think actually most likely a draw probably actually qualifies both teams. Assuming, a draw probably is able to go and qualify both teams, because if Man City go and win against Club Brugge, that would put Club Brugge on 11 points. If Stuttgart got a draw, they go ahead of them. But you then assume that Club Brugge would have a worse goal differential. So most likely, it's very possible that a draw actually works out perfectly well for both teams. But for PSG, you go out there, you go for the win. Your destiny is now very much in your own hands, and it also gives you an opportunity to climb up the standings here for the playoffs. So you try to do that to the best of your capabilities, and you'll find yourself in a good way. But oh my goodness, what a performance! What a performance! Honestly, just so happy. People, doubting us, all this PSG, we've regressed, this, that, and the other. Every team that's gone and played PSG, the managers, whether it's Pep, whether it's other teams in Ligue 1 as well, they've said, when they're asked, what do you think about this new PSG team? Like how they've gotten worse, they're building up to like, what are you talking about? This team is more oiled, more together. Their press is better. You can't get the ball off of them. I think the one thing we just need to do is grow and mature a bit and be more clinical in our finishing. Once we sort that out, and maybe a bit, I would say the weakest links right now, I'd probably say, is that our finishing, and probably I think our keeper. If we get that, I think PSG, even like within next year, could be serious contenders for the Champions League. I think maybe this year is perhaps a bit too early. I still think that we should try to aim for something like a quarterfinals, extra, so on and so forth. But you just think at the fact that, with a world-class striker, somebody or better finishing, and a proper world-class keeper, PSG are definitely just that away from being competing with the best teams out there. I think with this victory, you go and you can seriously look at any team in the world realistically now, look them face to face and say, we'll take you on. But yeah, I thought going into this game, I wasn't really sure. I didn't think that much had changed, or I hadn't seen significant change from our previous games and saying coming to City, playing City at home. But now it's a big confidence booster. And yeah, now I'm going into that game against Stuttgart and saying that we need to not just get a result, but we need to go out there and beat them, plain and simple. And whew, what a game, what a performance that's going to be. It'll be interesting to see how we line up. Yeah, that all I can say though is that next week is going to be absolutely, completely crazy, ludicrous, with every single game, if I'm not mistaken, happening all at once. So I think what you're gonna have to do is probably have one game that you're mainly watching, and I'm sure there's gonna be like on these streaming services and whatnot, like a feed where they show you all the other games and have like switch between all of them, because the standings are going to change wildly throughout the final match day. But guys, I'm really curious to know, what do you guys think of this victory? Do you think it's a monumentous victory for PSG? What do you think are PSG's chances of advancing, and what do you think PSG's ceiling is going into this final Champions League match day and beyond? And with that, thank you guys once again for watching this video. I apologize for being away for such a long time, but I will try to come back and be on a more regular upload schedule. And yeah, with that, thank you guys all so much for watching and tuning into this video. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, stay blessed, stay humble. Godspeed to you all. Bye.